I'm about to show you the single most asymmetric investment opportunity available to regular people right now, and it's going to sound almost too good to be true. 0.01 Bitcoin, 1 million Satoshis. Currently available for what most people spend on streaming services in 6 months. Here's what's insane about this moment. We are living through the greatest wealth transfer in human history, and most people are completely oblivious. While they're debating whether Bitcoin is real money, the smartest institutions on Earth are quietly accumulating as much as they can get their hands on. This isn't speculation, this is mathematical inevitability, and I'm going to prove it to you. Let me hit you with some facts that should terrify anyone holding traditional assets. Since 2020, central banks have created more money than existed in the previous 200 years combined. The M2 money supply has exploded by over 40%. Your dollars, sitting in savings accounts earning 2%, have lost 20% of their purchasing power in just 4 years. That's not coming back. Ever. Meanwhile, Bitcoin has delivered average annual returns of over 100% for the past 15 years. Not 10%, not 20%, 100% per year on average. No other asset class in human history has even come close to this performance consistency. But here's the kicker. We're still in the early innings. Bitcoin's market cap is $2 trillion. Gold's market cap? $15 trillion. The global bond market? $130 trillion. Global real estate? $330 trillion. Bitcoin isn't competing with other cryptocurrencies, it's competing with every store of value on Earth, and it's winning. Your 0.01 Bitcoin isn't a small bet, it's your stake in the asset that's systematically absorbing value from every inferior form of money on the planet. Here's what makes Bitcoin ownership a mathematical certainty rather than speculation. There are 59 million millionaires in the world today. That number is growing by 5% per year. If just half of them wanted to own one full Bitcoin as a hedge, not as their entire portfolio, just as insurance, there literally aren't enough Bitcoin to go around. We'd need 29.5 million Bitcoin. Only 21 million will ever exist, and 4 million are already lost forever. This is pure supply and demand. No emotions, no opinions, just math. But it gets better. Corporate treasuries are waking up. MicroStrategy owns 1.7% of all Bitcoin that will ever exist. Tesla, Square, Coinbase, they're not buying this as speculation, they're buying it because their CFOs have run the numbers and realized that holding depreciating dollars is financial suicide. Now pension funds are getting involved. Sovereign wealth funds are allocating. Nation-states are buying. El Salvador, Central African Republic, Paraguay. Entire countries are stacking Bitcoin. Your 0.01 Bitcoin, you're front-running some of the largest capital allocators on Earth. While they're still getting board approval and regulatory clearance, you can acquire meaningful ownership right now, today, with a few clicks. Let me paint you the picture of what's actually happening while most people are distracted by noise. Every day, approximately 900 new Bitcoin are mined. That's it, 900 per day for the entire planet. But every day, institutions like BlackRock and Fidelity are buying 2,000 to 3,000 Bitcoin through their ETFs alone. The math is simple. More Bitcoin are being bought than exist. This creates what's called a supply shock. Prices don't go up gradually when this happens. They explode violently upward. We've seen this movie before. In 2017, Bitcoin went from $1,000 to $20,000 in 12 months. In 2021, it went from $10,000 to $69,000. Each cycle, the percentage gains get smaller, but the absolute dollar amounts get larger. If Bitcoin captures just 10% of gold's market value, not replacing gold, just taking 10%, we're looking at $150,000 per Bitcoin. Your 0.01 Bitcoin becomes worth $1,500. That's a 3x return from today's levels. But here's where it gets really interesting. Hyperinflation scenarios are no longer theoretical. Turkey, Argentina, Lebanon, their currencies have collapsed in real time. When people's money becomes worthless, they don't buy stocks, they don't buy bonds. They buy the hardest money available. But here's where it gets really interesting. Hyperinflation scenarios are no longer theoretical. Turkey, Argentina, Lebanon, their currencies have collapsed in real time. When people's money becomes worthless, they don't buy stocks, they don't buy bonds, they buy the hardest money available. In a hyperinflation event, in any major economy, Bitcoin doesn't just go up, it becomes priceless, because it's the only escape hatch from monetary collapse. Here's the harsh reality. This opportunity has an expiration date, and that date is approaching faster than most people realize. The Bitcoin ETFs launched 1 year ago. In that single year, they've accumulated more Bitcoin than existed in the previous 4 years of institutional adoption combined. Wall Street has finally figured out what us early adopters knew all along. But here's what most people don't understand about institutional adoption. Once pension funds and sovereign wealth funds start buying, the game changes completely. These aren't traders looking to flip for quick profits. These are buy and hold forever institutions with trillion-dollar balance sheets. When a pension fund buys Bitcoin, it disappears from the market permanently. When Norway's $1.7 trillion sovereign wealth fund decides to allocate 1% to Bitcoin, and they're seriously considering it, that's $17 billion of buying pressure that removes Bitcoin from circulation forever. The easily available Bitcoin is being permanently absorbed by institutions that will never sell. What's left for retail investors like us is getting scarcer every single day. Right now, you can still accumulate. In 2 years, you might be competing with Apple's cash reserves and Japan's central bank for the same sats. This isn't fear-mongering, this is pattern recognition. Every revolutionary technology goes through the same adoption curve. Early adopters, then institutions, then everyone else. We're right at the inflection point between institutional adoption and mass adoption. Let me be crystal clear about what you're looking at. 0.01 Bitcoin isn't a gamble. It's the most asymmetric risk-reward opportunity available to regular people in 2025. Your maximum downside? You lose what most people spend on coffee in 3 months. Your potential upside? 10x, 20x, maybe 50x your money over the next decade. But more than that, you're buying insurance against the complete debasement of fiat currency. You're buying a piece of the only monetary network that can't be inflated, can't be seized, and can't be shut down. This isn't about getting rich quick. This is about not getting poor slowly. Every day you don't own Bitcoin, you're making an active decision to stay 100% exposed to depreciating fiat currencies. You're betting that politicians will become fiscally responsible. You're betting that central banks will stop printing money. You're betting that the current financial system won't collapse under the weight of its own debt. How's that working out so far? Your 1 million Satoshis is your hedge against monetary chaos. It's your seat at the table when the new financial system gets built. It's your ticket out of a system designed to transfer wealth from savers to debtors. I'm going to give it to you straight. The people watching this video fall into 2 categories. Category 1. Those who understand what I just laid out and take action. They start accumulating Bitcoin immediately. They dollar cost average. They learn proper security. They think long-term. Category 2. Those who understand what I just laid out, but don't take action. They bookmark this video. They say they'll get started next week, or when I have more money, or after I do more research. Want to know the difference between these 2 groups in 5 years? Group 1 will be financially free. Group 2 will be kicking themselves for missing the most obvious wealth-building opportunity of their lifetime. This isn't just about money, this is about recognizing a once-in-a-generation paradigm shift and positioning yourself on the right side of it. The best time to buy Bitcoin was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now, today. before you finish watching this video. Stop making excuses. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop overthinking it. 1 million Satoshis, 0.01 Bitcoin, the price of a few dinners out for the chance to front-run the greatest wealth transfer in human history. Here's your moment of truth. You now understand something that 95% of people don't. Bitcoin isn't just digital money. It's digital property with mathematically enforced scarcity, and you can still buy meaningful ownership for less than most people's monthly phone bill. The institutions know this. The smart money knows this. The question is, what are you going to do with this knowledge? You have two choices. You can treat this like interesting information and go back to your normal routine, or you can recognize this as the financial opportunity of a lifetime and act accordingly. Your future self is depending on the decision you make in the next 24 hours. Don't let them down. If this video just changed your perspective on Bitcoin forever, absolutely destroy that like button. If you want more content about Bitcoin and the wealth transfer happening right now, subscribe and hit the notification bell. And drop a comment below. I want to know, are you ready to become a Sat millionaire? Because after watching this, there's really no excuse not to be. The information is in front of you. The opportunity is in front of you. The only question is, what are you going to do about it? Thanks for watching. Now go stack some sats.